Corzine again doing a fine job. For Corzine, that is 8 points already here in the opening period of a Bull explosion. 33 points against this defense.
Pistons, not a team that can afford to get way behind. They don't score quickly. They like to use the clock to get good shots.
So with the shot clock coming down, they moved out on Thomas. Isaiah against Jordan, missing. And the ball went out of bounds as the shot clock was going off. And Daly very concerned about this start by his favorite Pistons, as we have come to the end of the first period. And the Chicago Bulls with Michael Jordan are doing it again. 33-17, they lead the Pistons. Well, the Chicago Bulls with a 33-17 lead, and let's check in with Leslie Visser. Leslie?
Brent, during the timeout, Doug Collins told his team that he's really impressed with particularly the play of Corzine. He wants them to keep attacking, keep talking to each other. On the opposite end, Isaiah said his hand doesn't hurt him, even though he's yet to score. Brent?
And Leslie, there is the first coach of the Chicago Bulls on the left, Red Kerr, who works the radio back in Chicago with Jim Durham, fine broadcaster there on the right. Reds came up to us last night and says, tell all my fans to turn your audio down and listen to me.
What did he say on his tombstone? Born 19-something and died 19-something. I told you my feet hurt me. The Iron Man. What a great...
Johnny Red Kerr. What a great guy he is. Well, that tells you all you need to know about this one. Michael outscoring everybody that Daly can put out there in the backcourt. A great start for Chicago. Now they're going to try Vincent, Paxson, Davis. Davis missing the shot. Corzine, who is battling away underneath, and he has become a key man with 10 points already in the first half.
You know what amazes me? The Pistons are not trapping, but the spacing is drawing the defense away from the goal. Therefore, the Bulls able to offensive rebound.
This big lead allows Doug Collins to rest Michael Jordan for more minutes than he might have had to in the first half. This is playing directly into the Bulls' hands right now. Underneath to Davis, they're shooting layups. It is a horrible start for the Pistons. This crowd is going to grow a little restless soon.
The Scotch and water crowd better get into the game. That's what they're described as, very laid back. But the rotation that time, Isaiah got caught late coming back to help.
Isaiah looking to get on the scoreboard off the penetration, couldn't get anything to happen, and they're back out at the perimeter. And Isaiah traveled, trying to force the issue that time. The fourth turnover by the Pistons. They are just not into it at all.
And this is the defensive group right now on the floor. Little up-tempo. The ability to create some problems on the half-court sets for the Bulls.
Thomas sitting, so Dumars is out there with Rodman, Johnson, Sally, and Edwards, seeing if this combination can get it going. Now it is Paxson maneuvering. Back to Paxson, into Corzine, getting through Edwards. That time there was help as Sally and Rodman both moved to the attack, and now Sally and Rodman getting down the floor quickly. Dumars sends it back out to Johnson. This group showing a little more life if they can get the ball to fall. Now the Bulls on a bust out. Paxson has Vincent on the left, and Davis trailing.
They have gotten away with a walk, but the numbers, Chuck Daly upset. Not getting back. They're generally a good shooting team. They take efficient shots and balance the floor.
Leslie better not go near that Piston huddle on this timeout.
So here's some things she should.
Yeah, right. Leslie, just stay by Chicago's end. We'll be right back.
Brent, you've got to see the floor to play the game. And having done many camps in the summer, you try and teach the kids to look up, get your eye off the basketball. Here, John Paxson, after he gets organized, spots the cutters. And the interesting thing here, Charles Davis ends up walking, but he complements the break, takes away the ability of the defense to just freeze in the middle and only play two people, how to play three.
Perhaps you see that black mourning band there on Paxson's left. There's a better view of it there on the right. That's in honor of the late Larry Fleischer, who did so much for the NBA Players Association. The average salary something around $10,000 to $15,000 when he took over. Now it's in the hundreds of thousands. And Rodman jams in a layup.
You think Doug Collins has seen enough of cutters taking it out of bounds and going to the basket? Craig Elo did the same thing for Cleveland.
Corzine wanted it in low. Lambier now matched against him. Corzine turns it around and softly goes to the glass. There's a man whose playoff average was less than 4 points a game and has scored 12 already here this afternoon.
I was at Chicago Stadium when he was booed. Of course, they booed Dear Abby as well that day. So tough on Dave Corzine, but now he's one of the favorites.
Fouled. Vincent was helping Pippen on the double team.
What you lose when you don't play against opponents, other than the contact, is the execution. Chicago, in that flow of playoff spirit, able to react, take away the sets of the Pistons. They're going to have to set their people up and recognize better if they're going to get back in the ballgame.
Grant returning for the Bulls.
Because the Pistons late in the year went up to Seattle and got behind by 29-1. So they're capable of getting back into the basketball game.
Short with that free throw, but back to Rodman. Still down by 21 points here in the first half. 9 minutes to reduce that deficit. But they have turned it over.
Little pick and roll, and Johnson usually turns the corner, goes all the way. Well defended.
Davis, Vincent, Corzine, Paxton, and Jordan continuing to rest as Grant gives it up to Davis. Shot clock now down toward 5. They're going to need to go to work, and Grant forced one. He saw Collins and get it back, and the shot clock has gone off.
Never hit the 10. Pretty good defensive set. That's more of the Piston type of defense.
Eight and a half minutes here in the first half. Johnson fouled by Paxson, and Michael will return. There's the man who scored 41% of the Bulls' points in that 5-game victory over Cleveland, including that dramatic jump shot, which moved them on to the next round against the New York Knicks.
As they're trying to find a little about Michael Jordan, I was talking to Brendan Malone, the Piston coach. He had him at 5-star camp in the summer when he was a kid and not a great player. And this year in Houston at the airport, Michael saw Brendan Malone, introduced him to his team as my 5-star coach when I was at high school. He's got a great flair and feel for people.
Isaiah continuing to watch as he struggled in the early going.
2-2-1 pressure.
Across to Grant. Shot clock again winding down. Back to Paxson, who runs into Lambier, and Grant is there.
Pretty cut, isolation with the big man, nice back cut, and a pretty bounce pass by Corzine.
43-22, Bulls over the Pistons. 8 minutes, first half.
Then he hasn't been able to curl off that post.
Lambier losing it. They are just not with it yet.
They're not the bad boys right now.
Only in the eyes of their coach.
Here's the trap of the double, something they adjusted for today.
The 3 is short, and it's Johnson off on the move. To Saleh, wanted Rodman, and Davis goes to tap the ball out of bounds.
Just not with it. Bill Lambier, sure-handed normally. That break there, Saleh trying to get the house in it with an alley-oop to Rodman.
Johnson. They have shot horribly here in the first half.
And some open shots.
And down on the inside, away from the ball that time.